Thomas, you got your real estate degree, real estate finance degree at Sacramento State. You're 29 years old, have been in the business for only 6 years. And in that time, you've bought 2 rental properties. You've built your production that on a 12-month basis, you do about 82 units for 34 million. You have 2 other loan officers on your team. Collectively, you guys do 85 million. You've built a great business. What are you most proud of?
Getting after it every day and just like still trying to grow the business, honestly. All that stuff, even hearing it doesn't even sound real to me, so it doesn't really sink in.
So you're 29 years old. A lot of people are going to listen to this and look at your production, and the first question they're going to ask is, are you a millionaire yet? Or what is, better yet, what is your relationship with money? How would you answer any of those 2 questions?
Am I a millionaire yet? No, but we're definitely chasing after it. What's my relationship with money? I think it's a lot like my relationship with production. I always want more, and I'm just constantly focused on trying to work and trying to do better in this industry, to have some sense of like financial stability. Because obviously, this being a commission-only job, you're always like, where's the next one coming from? I still feel that way all the time. So I don't know when that's going away. Maybe you can tell me after what you've heard from other people. So
I'm actually curious to go a little deeper into that financial stability. What does that look like for you? Because a lot of loan officers I've met, they don't have it, or they don't feel like they have it, no matter how much money they have. What does it look like for you?
I think that the number that I'm chasing for retirement is probably try to get to 5 million at some point. Obviously, I have a long timeline to get there, but I think at 5 million, if you make like 8%, what is it? You might make 400 a year just from your investments. I feel like that's a very safe number. I don't think you could spend through that. So that's what I'm chasing.
So for you, is it that number, or is it a feeling like that you said you couldn't even spend that much? Are you chasing a feeling or like a number?
Well, I think the number would, by the math, give enough like growth from the actual asset, like the 5 million at 8%, 400,000. I think that that would give more stability because then you don't have to go work every day.
Yeah. Do you enjoy working?
I do, but again, I have that feeling of where's the next deal? Where's the next deal? And so that stress, I feel like if you had a large asset pool, like you've saved up enough, you worked really hard, saved a lot of your money as you've been producing, I feel like that would make that go away. But I still probably would work because I do like helping people purchase. I do like talking to more people. When I'm not working, I feel like I should be working. But maybe after I have a family, that feeling switches. I don't know.
It might. Here's what I've seen first in myself and then in other people. I think because mortgage origination is so up and down, like based on the time of the year, just the overall cycle of the market, the biggest thing that helps loan officers and myself is just having just a lot of cash in the bank account. Like, like I know they say have 3 to 6 months. Like 6 months is like that's what I want. And before we started, we talked about our rentals, because things happen too, and I like to feel safe knowing that if I don't even get a paycheck for a long time, I'll be okay. That for me was the main thing that made me feel safer, just having cash. Like nothing may give me as good of a feeling as that.
Yeah, definitely the rentals though. And I know you were sharing a story too of, okay, now you don't have the revenue coming in from that. I mean, I had last week, there was like sewage backing up in my basement in one of my duplexes. I had to get it sewer scoped. So it's like, oh, okay, all the money from the rent that month isn't going to do anything, but whatever, we'll keep pushing.
How do you like to invest your money?
Right now, my big focus has been just purchasing the rentals. Like I picked 2 value adds up last year in Ohio. They were like $75,000 purchase prices. Put some money into renovating them, got them rented out. One of them, the gross rent is like 1,900. The other, the gross rent's about 1,500. So that seemed awesome, but it took a long time to get them actually rented out. So that gave me also another like factor of stress while I was still trying to produce. I'm like, okay, I thought these were supposed to be easy, like get the revenue right away. You see like Tom Cruise on Instagram. Oh, I make $5 million a month from Section 8. But then my experience was like, oh, okay, it takes a little bit to get these rolling. You're only safe if you have a bunch of them. So I definitely think I want to do investment just because I've seen it's done really well for people purchasing rentals, whether it be commercial or residential. Um, but I'm also hearing stuff of it's a lot less stressful to just earn, save 20%, put it in the market, let it grow. So
Mhm.
I'm still figuring out what I think is best, but I've definitely seen that both paths can work.
Yeah, it's actually so funny we're talking about this. We talked started. Yeah, I asked Thomas, like, are you more like Dave Ramsey, or are you more like I didn't say it, but like I was thinking Grant Cardone, just buy as much as you can, get as much leverage, and it's like we're both figuring it out. I think I've gone more down the Dave Ramsey route and Rick Ruby route, where rentals are just more of a distraction. Like my rental properties, like, and I have about $1 million worth of rental properties. Like in a good month, I'll bring in $3,000 in like cash flow. That's not even a deal. That's barely a deal. And it's like everything can go wrong with it. I don't know how
Right.
your experience has been, but going back to like real estate, it's like the scale of it definitely makes sense, I feel like. But like if you only go for a little bit, it's such a pain in the, excuse my language, it's a pain in the ass for like not even one loan.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. You were saying it's like you get 3,000 net. I think I get about 1,500 from both of mine, but it took a lot of work and doing the renovations. It was like 6 months to even see the first check. I had to get a bunch of stuff fixed. There were still issues with the tenant. Had to change the garage door. Had to hydrojet this last week. It's like there's just a lot of problems that come up. I think if you want to do it, you have to commit and do a ton because then you get at least get like the economies of scale. You can have your own property management. But I think if you don't want to be in real estate, it probably doesn't make sense to pick up like one, two. You'd probably be better off just investing and not having to worry about someone just ruining a huge asset too. Because a
It's
lot of the recommended is you buy your first house, you leave it, you purchase another primary, rent out the one you had because everybody has like 2.5% rates. But if they don't want to be a landlord, it could just still not make any sense. It might be better for them just to sell, recapture whatever equity gain they had, put that down on the next house. And if they had cash left over they wanted to put in the market, that might be better off for them and way less stressful.
100% agree. Rick says something that I really like. It's like real estate is a middle class investors. It's the middle class retirement account. In the mortgage world, we're lucky where we can become truly wealthy. Like
Mhm.
any loan officer can make seven figures in a year. And it's better to, I think, to just focus on making more money in origination because it's so much earning potential, and just invest it and have it for a future. That way you're not even distracting yourself with anything else.
Yeah, so I did a flip with one of my buddies 3 years ago. I got super distracted. So I've had a weird journey. Like when I came in, everything was refis, and then the market started to get weird. We were like, oh, we're just gonna flip properties. Started to do a bunch of direct mail, tried to do flips. I was like, bro, I mean, my former broker would post like $200,000 checks. We'll just do a couple of these here. We'll make a ton of money. Went through the whole process, had to like redo sewer line, tear apart of the slab to get it because we started moving bathrooms, like stuff we just didn't know because it was like our first time doing a flip together. And then at the end of the day, we probably made like 10 grand a piece. And it was like, okay, we did all of that 6 months, tons of cash out of pocket, lots of stress. Could have just helped like two other people purchase a house, probably would have made more money.
Way more money and less
And
headache.
all of that time.
Yeah. So you actually have a really interesting journey into the mortgage world. Can you share that?
Yeah. So I was in college. I was working for Anheuser-Busch. My sister had worked there, so I got an internship as a logistics trainee, worked in a warehouse for 2 summers up in Washington. Then once I graduated, I went through the logistics training program for Anheuser-Busch in St. Louis, Missouri. Lived there for a year. After the 6 month program, they wanted me to stay there to learn like the inventory management and do a bunch of like Excel spreadsheets, figure out what inventory levels needed to be. It was cool. It was super challenging. I just didn't really like losing all of my friends that I just met in the program because after we got done, only three of us stayed, but there was maybe 12 of us, and the rest of them got dispersed out to fun places like Denver and San Diego. I was like, man, I wanted to go to one of the cool places. Like, I didn't want to stay here in St. Louis. But after that, then I started to see one of my fraternity alumni from college. posting huge flip checks. It was like $200,000 or more. I was like, man, this guy makes it look really easy. I think I should just reach out to him. So I got connected. Thought I was coming back to work for him to learn how to flip homes and invest in properties. But he was running a huge mortgage company. So when I got back, I became like an assistant on their front end, got my license, and then started like actively originating probably 6 months after I came back.
Wow. Okay. So, and you're from Sacramento, correct?
Yeah, I'm from Sacramento.
Okay. Is the person that got you into the industry still in the industry?
Yeah, so Shelby Elias is one that I worked for. They were huge. Like I think him and Peter Galvez were probably like number one in California during that time during the refi boom.
Wow.
So that was like 2019 I came back and I stayed with him probably through 2021, I want to say, maybe 2020. But yeah, Shelby still actively originates. He's like on a huge radio show here. He has a team, but he lives in Arizona now, but he still actively originates here.
Very cool. Did you take a pay cut to come into the mortgage world?
I did, yeah.
So
Yeah, I
what
want to
was
say it was
that?
like
Go ahead.
I want to say I was like 72 salary with like a 8K signing bonus or something when I first started my position. And then I think when I came into mortgage, I was like 60,000. And then like 6 months later, I was commission only. And my dad is a school teacher. My mom worked for Hewlett Packard for a long time, but then eventually like started a business with some of her coworkers. But definitely come from a background of, oh, you need a stable income, you want benefits. So it was definitely uncharted territories. And I kind of just happened into it. So I don't know if I necessarily would have like chosen it if I knew for sure, but it's like boiling a frog. You're in there in the cold water. All of a sudden it's hot. It's like, oh, I didn't really notice. And then, you look back 6 years, it seems fine so far.
Yeah. So you were 23 and a half when you started. How long did it take you from the moment you went commission only to make enough money to pay your bills as a loan officer?
And it was so different back then. Like I don't drink anymore. I haven't drank for like 2 years, but back then I was definitely drinking a lot because I was fresh out of college. So I was very social when I came back. The first deal that I picked up, I was literally at a bar that I would go to a lot when I was in college. I was talking to the bartender that I was really good friends with, and he had 3 properties. He needed to refinance them all. That was the first deal I picked up. And so remembering that, I'm like, man, it feels so much harder now because you can't just go around saying, whoa, you have a 4% rate. You can get in the twos. Why don't we refinance? So it was a lot faster back then. I know it's way more challenging now to like get the ball rolling, in my opinion. But back then, you could just throw a stick and hit somebody, and they probably could benefit from a refinance. So it was a way different game back then.
So back then is just 2020, 21, where rates were super low and like everyone was refinancing. How did you build your business? Were you always referral only, or did you ever get leads? Tell us what process you went through building your business.
Yeah, so my business was really built on like connecting with people and then trying to find ways to co-market or marketing individually and like feeding to realtors to help them grow their business and then hope in return to get more business from that. Everybody that I learned from, the big brokers that I worked for, because I worked for United Wholesale Lending and then I worked for Amanda Stevenson, who was also a big producer. Everybody that I had been around was like a big Zillow account, always co-market with agents. That's how you have consistent revenue coming in. So I did that for the last year, but our market has really switched where we don't have the access to Zillow Premier. Like it's going away. They're trying to get rid of originators because Zillow Home Loans is coming into play. So all the big Zillow teams are really being absorbed to do that. But that's kind of how I learned to do it was co-market or market on your own leads, get your own business to be able to hand out to help to grow their business and hope in turn to get business back. But it's not to say it was the only source of business. Like last year through my training with Amir, I did a lot of events. I went to a ton of open houses to meet agents. I went to a ton of events to meet agents. I met a lot of good friends from going to those events, which was crazy to me. So it's a lot of getting out, meeting people, building connections. But I always just had the idea of, okay, you should have something to kind of give out to be able to get stuff back.
I love it. I want to see how tactical we can actually get into how you structure your partnerships, um, and like how you keep it RESPA compliant. How much can you share on it? Can you share your numbers, how you start relationships with realtors, all of that?
Yeah, so the big account that I was marketing with last year for RESPA compliance, like if you go through the big lead platforms, if you're buying realtor.com leads with realtors, if you're buying Zillow.com leads with agents, like they have their set rules. They put you in a contract. They make sure you're following the splits. Um, I want to say we were doing like a 70-30 split on the marketing expenses, which probably is what makes sense. I wouldn't go closer to 50-50. That comes where it starts to have more issues for you because there's cash, there's new builds, stuff that we won't be able to see. But all
Were
like
you contributing 70 or were they contributing 70?
they were contributing 70. I don't think we're allowed to go above 50-50 and buy more of their share.
I see. Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
I know
For
Zillow wants
everyone
to do a
listening,
50-50.
we're not RESPA attorneys here. Do your own diligence. Just don't break any rules. There's a lot
Right.
of regulations around here. And
That's
the
for
big
sure.
platforms actually help you set it up, which is the good news. How do you think about the numbers of like, does it make sense as a business for you to go into that partnership? Like the skills that the realtors need to have, the numbers you want to see, anything like that?
Um, well, the way that I looked at it was the person that I was partnering with, I looked at their 12-month production and I looked at how much I would spend, and we were even increasing. So I figured, okay, if I'm spending this much, if I get, 2/3 of their production, this will probably be sufficient to cover this and have a profit. And you're going to get clients from it that hopefully you're able to provide a good service to get repeat business or referrals. So I always looked at it as a way to like get the ball rolling and kind of start to grow the business.
Gotcha. And that, are you still doing that, or kind of did you stop that in the past year?
No, so we stopped that maybe like 3-4 months ago. Zillow Flex is really coming into our market and absorbing all of the teams. So they're basically going to a model where they want 40% of the commission from the agents, and they want Zillow Home Loans to at least get a call with each of the leads that comes in to make sure they're still getting uh, the amount of leads that they want. So I don't know how that's going to work with RESPA compliance either, but I'm sure Zillow of all people, they're probably being safe, but it seems interesting to me for sure.
Do you still have the relationships that you're not doing the marketing with, co-marketing with?
I do, yeah. Definitely not as much without co-marketing. That was something that I got warned about too with my coach is like, oh, you don't want to fall into the trap of being seen as just a source of marketing dollars for the agents. It's more important to have relationships with them. So definitely as I was like trailing off of that, it was more of a focus of building more organic relationships with agents in that time. So
Love it. I'm going to put a little plug in actually for Amir Bali. If you guys don't know him, he's one of the coaches in the industry. I've had the honor of working with him. He's an upstanding guy. We did an episode with him as well. Just a little plug for him. He's a really good guy.
he's a crazy hard worker too. You definitely see like why he finds so much success. He just does not stop.
Yeah, he cares and he works really, really hard.
That's for sure.
So what does your business look like right now? I'm going to ask some fast questions just to get a snapshot. How many realtors are you working with right now?
I probably have a good like 22 that I would say I'm like in good relationship with. And I'm actively trying to like stick to the plans of, okay, you need 40 consistent relationships that you're in and consistently trying to grow that prospect, meet new people. Like I'm very actively going out, going on new appointments, still throwing events to get more agents in the room. But I probably have like 22 that I still consistently work with. And some of them are still from that team that I worked with initially.
And how many deals are you getting on average from those 20-ish realtors?
Um, it really depends like week to week, month to month. I probably did 7 transactions still last month. I have 6 still in actively right now, but I've written like 4 offers just in the last like 2 days. So it definitely goes in waves. And as I like get more relationships. I'm starting to get more referrals, but I'm definitely like feeling as if sometimes I'm rebuilding because I'm having that big switch from marketing to more organic.
Relationship based.
Mhm.
And so it sounds like if you have 20-ish realtors and you're getting anywhere between like 6 to 7 deals a month, you're getting a deal every 3 months, every 4 months from your realtors, which is outstanding, by the way. And so if you go to 40, assuming 1 in 3 months, that's 120 deals a year. Is that kind of where you want to go?
For sure. Yeah, I definitely want to get above 100 units. I would like to definitely get to above 50 million in production is kind of my target. But I'm trying to actively build all of those relationships to kind of get there. But I've been fortunate too to like run into agents this year that even though they're like newer in the industry, I mean, I've met someone in February. I've already done 4 transactions with them. They're very actively sending more referrals. I met an agent last week that's already sent me 2 leads. One we already have pre-approved, one I'm talking to today to get pre-approved. So I definitely see like the momentum picking up to kind of get back to those targets.
One common problem in California I've seen is that realtors only do like a deal or 2 deals a year. Is that in your market as well, or is your market different?
No, there's definitely a lot of agents that do 1 or 2 a year that maybe are not full time and it's something they do on the side, just picking up transactions from Sphere. I would say too, because our price points are higher, they don't have to do as many units or like transactions. Just because our average purchase price is 540, I want to say, in like the greater Sacramento area. Um, but yeah, I mean, you'll see agents in other areas doing 200 to 300 transactions with a couple assistants. So it's definitely not like a high volume in that sense, more just like higher purchase price. They typically get into luxury and start doing 4 million, 2 million transactions instead of doing the average first time home buyer 5 to 800.
So you have very few realtors that are doing like 10 buy sides a year that you can go after compared to most other markets.
Yeah, I would say so for sure.
Okay. And what percentage of your business comes from realtor referrals?
Mm, I would say it's probably 70% of the business, 30% coming from like refinances from past clients or past client referrals or Sphere. But the majority of my business is coming directly from realtor referrals and relationships.
Okay, let's get a little tactical about how you are rebuilding your business. So you want to get to 40 realtors, so you have another 20 to 18 spots left. What's your process like identifying the right kind of realtor, the process to get a meeting, how you convert them, and then how you keep taking care of them?
Yeah, so this is something I'm like actively working on too to get better at. So if you have any feedback, I'd appreciate that too. But right now, the way that I've been doing it, so I threw an event like 2 weeks ago. I've been following up with the list of people that either attended or signed up for attending and just tried to set appointments. One of the big things that I've learned from just the appointment I did last week is they actually do want to help you, especially ones that have been in the industry a lot longer. Someone I met with last week was saying, hey, you can use my name, reach out to these 2 people. I think you would work well with them. Oh, there's this good agent in my team that I think you would work well with. So it's not something that I had really used before, but I'm starting to see more what they talk about. The triangle of trust is definitely a good way to kind of build your relationships. So I would definitely recommend that to people if you have an agent that you work with. I mean, if you tell them, hey, I actively want to grow my business, do you know anybody that you think I could reach out to and work with? They seem very happy to do that, which I never would have thought previously. So,
I will put a plug right there. My favorite party trick with loan officers, not in actual parties, is seeing how many referrals a realtor will get a loan officer with one text. Uh, this anyone can try this as long as it's a loan officer that you have some sort of relationship with. They don't even need to send you deals, but if you have a relationship, just sending a text of, hey, I was just curious, from the top of your head, how many other realtors do you know that you personally like and trust? And the average number is 3. If anyone wants to send that text right now, the best I've seen is 20. You obviously get some that are like 0-1s, but the average number is 3. And that's 3 warm introductions right there.
yeah, I was really surprised when I had that meeting and they were like, oh, you can reach out to these 2 people. I was like, Oh, we just met, but you're still willing to help me grow my business just because I asked. So I think people need to be aware of like, hey, you really just need to ask.
You really do. And do you want to share the story of how you got on this podcast? Because this is how I source my guests as well.
Yeah, I was a referral from Amir. Amir said, hey, you should get Thomas onto the podcast, and now I'm here.
Yeah. So, guys, for anyone listening, guys, it's true when they say if you don't ask, you don't receive. Just ask who else do you think I should talk to and give a criteria. That's the big thing that I've realized. So when I was talking to Amir, I told him like I want him to do either 30 million minimum or minimum 8 units. And so you have to talk to Thomas. And here we are on a podcast, and I'm honored to get to know you. Realtors will do the same thing. You say, hey, I'm looking for other realtors that you like and trust. Ideally, they're doing 8 buy sides a year, and you'll get introductions.
That's for sure.
So you're getting now introductions from realtors. How do you go from getting the intro to conducting a meeting?
So I just really do the in-person meetings and see like, okay, what's going on with your business and how can I support? But my big focus is really just trying to build a relationship with them, understand them more. Um, from all of the coaching that I've had, the biggest thing is like, okay, showing them that you care and you really want to help them and trying to actually build a relationship with them outside of just, hey, we're doing transactions together. Like you need to really become friends with them, especially because you're going to be on call with them. They're going to have to call you. You're going to have to interact. You need to like really enjoy working with this person because you're going to devote a lot of time talking with them, interacting with them. But in terms of how I like conduct the meeting, I just try to get to know them as best as I can and try to follow up after that to try to work together.
Do you have a process for like what kind of questions you want to ask in that meeting? I guess a better way of asking that question is how similar are each one of those meetings with those realtors?
I really just go deep on like who they are as a person and understand what's going on in their life. I know that the big scripts that people recommend is, hey, what are 3 things that you like about your current loan officer? What's 3 things that you don't like? And you're supposed to sell to the value of, okay, these are the things you don't like. If I can commit to those, can you send me your next 3 buyers over the next 3 months? Maybe we can try this out and see if it's a good fit. I haven't really had a lot of success with that. More of committing to, hey, I'd love to work with you. Here's all the things that we do. It sounds like we can help you this way. I'd really love the opportunity to work with you. And then getting consistent leads from just following up with them and building a connection.
Do you track your conversion of how many meetings you conduct every week and how many referral partners you have, like conversion from meeting into actual partner?
No, but that sounds like a great idea that I should do after this.
How many meetings do you try to conduct with new people every week?
I need to do more. I know the target's to get to at least like 5. I know Sean, when I heard him talk, he says 15. Um, but I'm probably doing like 2 to 3 a week right now. But I just need to increase my outbound to get actual more appointments.
Okay. How long have you been doing 2 to 3 meetings a week for? I actually think that's great. Shant is a billion-dollar producer with a massive team, so he has more leeway and more time. But how long have you been doing the 2 to 3 meetings a week for?
I would say I've probably been doing that consistently for probably about 5-ish months.
It's really good.
Yeah,
So what
but
is
I'm
that?
trying to stick to that. Sometimes it's not meetings with like new accounts, so sometimes it's just meetings with the agents that I already work with to try to continue to strengthen relationships. But I definitely am focused on making sure I'm not in my office as much, even though I'm here. I'm trying to be out there more, meeting more people, and trying to connect with the right people too that are actually transacting, not doing a ton of appointments with people that are brand new, even though I know that you can meet brand new agents, help train them, get them going. But I'm trying to interact with the right people.
Yeah, I think once you get really good at conducting meetings, having a criteria of who you'll meet with, meaning like how much they can actually give you. I believe 8 sites a year is a good number. I know people differ at it. For you, for example, in California, that number might be lower because there aren't that many realtors that do 8 buy sides. But from my experience, once the process is up and running, the conversion rate is about 50%, meaning half the people you meet with will actually send you business. So if you meet with 2 people, you're getting 1 new referral partner. That means for you, you want to get to 40, you have 20 spots left. You can get 20 in 20 weeks, you can fill up your realtor accounts, your spots, which
I
is,
like the optimism.
yeah, well, that's the
I
number.
like that.
But you have to get good at conducting the meetings. it actually took me a while to kind of learn this on my own, but I was converting maybe 10%
Mhm.
when I was conducting those meetings. I would always get a reaction of the realtor. Oh yeah, you're gonna get my lead. I'm gonna send someone to you, and you're so great. And I would never get any leads. But in my head, I felt like I converted without actually getting conversion.
Right.
So I started to conduct my meetings different, where I was almost encouraging them to tell me no. And when I was encouraging them to tell me no, I was also finding out the things they wanted that I could better offer them. And my conversion rate went up to 50%. I got a lot more hard no's. Like a lot more people just told me like, no, Sam, I'm not interested, which never happened to me. But I also got a lot more people to send me actual referrals and deals.
What was the big thing you switched? You just try to get them to tell you no?
Yeah, tell me no and kind of get a true commitment. So I used to do that. What are the 3 things you like, 3 things you don't like? Uh, it's very good for actually clarifying what the realtor wants. But what I really like to do is push them to like really articulate what it is that they want. So an example is like every realtor says, I want better communication.
Hmm.
Well, like communication means so many different things. What is one thing you mean by communication? So it's like, oh, I want to get a weekly update. Great. I can do that for you. What else does communication mean? I want you to respond to me. How fast? Like within 3 hours. Great. I can do that. So once I understood exactly what the realtor wants, not vague terms like communication, like actionable items, then I would say essentially, like, if I give you all of those things, do you give me 2 deals a year? If they say yes, great, we have an agreement. If they say no, great, we have an agreement. We're not working together. But I would ask, like, I would say, like, I will do all of these for you, but I want this in return. Are you good with
Right.
that or not? And that's because I wanted to hear the no, and I would make it okay for them to say no.
Now, I think I saw from one of your posts too. Are you doing, or did you do, you would write out your agreement and have them sign it with you?
I did. Yeah, I did.
What did that increase like your chance of conversion and them actually committing to what they signed?
It increased it increased all conversions. So it increased the number of people that didn't sign. Like more people flat out said, no, I'm uncomfortable doing this. But those were also the same people that were never going to send me any deals. It also increased the conversion of people who signed and actually sent me deals.
Mm,
A shocking thing happened when someone signed. Pretty much within a month, I had a deal going on with them.
that's cool.
And you might appreciate this story. I learned this in my fraternity. I had you know how you get your little brother and they go through pledging. Uh, so when I was a pledge, my big brother made me sign a document saying that I won't quit until I talk to him. And I wanted to quit every freaking single day, but I didn't because I like in mind I'm like, oh, I gotta talk to him. And then I did the same thing to my little brother, and he didn't quit, and he wanted to quit every single day. So I like at a certain point with realtors, I was lost. I'm like, I'm just gonna treat them like my little brothers, and it went great.
That's funny. I like that.
What's your follow-up process?
So I try to stick to the theme days because I feel like every coach or every coaching program is very consistent on theme days. So it's the call your agents every Monday or text them rate updates. It's call all of your active clients or active transactions on Tuesdays, title the agents, everybody. Call all your pre-approved buyers, stay in contact with them on Wednesdays, call past clients on Thursdays. I'm still very much working on a VIP list, but call them on Fridays, the people you know and love. Try to love on them, stay connected, whether it be family, friends, people in the community. So I'm very much trying to stick to the theme days. That's kind of the follow-up cadence and making sure that we're hitting every lead at least 7 times before we really give up on it. So
Nice. So it's a lot of follow-up. How organized are you?
I'm decently organized. I definitely think I could be better because I would see how organized Amir is, and he's very organized. So I definitely like track everything. We have all the leads in the lead tracker. I track my calls that I'm making on the theme days to make sure that I'm hitting everything. But I definitely think there's always room for improvement on, using a different CRM, using different ways to be organized. I definitely can improve, but I think everybody can. So
Are you using a CRM right now or no?
I do. I have Rad CRM, which is one of the guys from our company built an integration to Arrive. So based on whatever your new loan status is, it sends out an update for you. I do not use it to the capabilities that I'm sure it has, but the way that it's built, it kind of interacts with them, keeps them in the loop once they're tagged as a pre-approved status, just sends them like tips and tricks. Hey, don't get a new auto loan. Don't move all your money around. Just like soft touches, and I think it's good just on top of the actual outbound calls and connections.
Yeah. So I want to point out to a lot of loan officers who listen in, organization helps. Like there's no way it doesn't help. It helps a lot, but nothing beats just picking up the phone and calling people. The number of loan officers, I think we both know that it's just their cell phone and maybe an Excel sheet, but they make well into six figures is insane.
For sure. And I think a lot of the thing is not just the phone calls. Phone calls are super important. It's way like texting is a backup to if they don't pick up the call. But I think also face to face seems extremely important. Agent connection, got to go face to face. Client connection, it's best to do your intake calls on Zoom or hopefully in your office if you can, or meet them at a coffee shop. But even that, you're going to have a way better chance of getting a referral or building a true connection with them if you get to meet them in person. Because the thing that the agents have that's a huge leg up on us is they're out there touring houses, seeing the family, going to inspections, spending time with them. That's why they're more likely to get the referral, because they're building a stronger connection to them. So I think it's something that loan officers, I mean, we all feel like we don't have the time, but it's very important to get the face-to-face connection with the clients, because that's how you're going to have a more lasting relationship and a higher level of trust, which should help your conversion as well.
You said the Zoom intake call, and I love it. Not many people do it. What does it look like for you?
I need to build out an actual presentation, but for me, I like to actually just get face to face and do the full phone application, and then just take, side tracks of when you learn, okay, what they do for work, small talk, get to know them, understand their interests. I always talk about the property too and why they're looking to move, because it's so much more interesting than, hey, what's your credit score? What's your debt? Here's what the payment looks like. So I always try to layer in like all the emotional conversations, and then it just helps being face to face, because then they'll just have a chance to trust you more, other than talking to somebody on the phone that they're likely going to forget you. They're going to at least remember you more if they see you when you're having that conversation.
It's the why is such a big question, and I want to emphasize this again, asking why they want to move. The best salesperson I've ever met in my life sold me a super expensive wedding photography package. They were more expensive than anyone by like 3 or 4 times. And the reason she did that is she just focused on us and the why and the story. We actually didn't go into hardly any details about like the package. It was just about us. And that's like when the best sales point is the client. It's not what we do, is what the client wants. So if the client talks and they say why they want to move, we have all the info we need to convert them. I love that you brought that up, Thomas. Thank you.
Of course.
Do you track your conversion?
No, I'm starting to, but no, not really. I mean, I can go back and look at last month's leads and say, okay, this is probably what my conversion was, but I don't have a routine habit right now of going back and saying, oh, I got this many leads. This is how many converted to pre-approval. This is how many converted to a deal. But I definitely need to, because I think if you have all of your numbers, you probably feel a lot safer of, okay, I just need to make this many outbounds, this many calls. This is what it'll lead to.
Do you track your leads though?
I do track my leads, yeah.
Okay. How many leads do you get every month on average?
It really depends. I'd say right now, as I'm rebuilding, before I was getting probably 60 to 80 in a month when I was doing all the co-marketing. Now I'm probably down to 35, somewhere around there, trying to get it back up to around 55 with adding on new agent accounts. But yeah, the conversion's still pretty high relative to what I'm getting, because it's more warm interactions versus when I was getting a lot of lead volume. It was more just like cold traffic from the internet.
Yeah. Well, if you're getting 35 leads and you have 7, 8 loans in pipeline, 20% conversion, that's a really good place to be. And
I want to increase it though. Don't worry.
What do you want to be at?
In terms of leads or in terms of volume?
Both.
I really want to consistently be at 10. I feel like I've been chasing it. I've hit it a few times, 10 a month in transactions. The lead count, I probably think would be best at 50. and getting it from, I don't know, 30-ish agents.
Yeah. So yeah,
But
if you maintain your same conversion of 20%, 10 fundings times 5, that's 50 referrals. And if you have 30 leads, 30 realtors, that's like 2/3 of leads per realtor every month. That's a great place to be. It's a really good place to be.
got to get there.
You're gonna get there, man. You're gonna get there. What's something that everyone said in the industry that you should do? You tried it and it didn't work for you at all.
Man, the one thing that doesn't really, but this is also a follow-up issue. When I would go out to open houses, the people that I would interact with, I feel like didn't really have a lot of volume. So when I would go to a lot of open houses, that seemed to be an issue. That has been what doesn't really work the best for me. But it's also because I'm not having a routine cadence of, okay, hey, I met you at the open house. I want to go to an appointment, like get to know you better. So it's
Okay.
also my issue of why it didn't convert. But I'd see like huge producers in my market, Nathan Sibbett, who went to opens, met people at opens, got conversion for that. He's like an 80 million a year producer. So I definitely know that that works. It's just you have to actually do the follow-up cadence behind it to be able to set the appointment, to get to know them, get into a relationship with them.
Yeah. It's the open house one is it's the one that a lot of guests say it didn't work for them. It's like it's one of those things that it either works really great when you on it, or it's just like a complete waste of time. And it is a
Yeah,
lot of
I think
like
it definitely.
personal.
I don't think it has to be a waste of time. I think it's just you have to follow up with them. But I think you run into a lot of people that could be brand new, and you're gonna meet people that necessarily you won't follow up with because you're like, oh, okay, this won't really help my business anyways. They're starting to get off the ground. Um, but I do think it's probably worthwhile to get out there because even if you meet like 2 out of the 10, if you hit 10 on a weekend, and those ones are producing, you just have to focus on following up with them.
And the secret code with open houses is asking for introductions to other realtors. So
I
each
like
one
it.
leads like 1 or 2 realtors you'll meet.
That's the thing I've learned from talking to all the big producers is their strength isn't necessarily, oh, they're cold calling agents to get referrals. Their strength is once they get the ball rolling, they've learned how to have their production grow their future production. Like getting referrals from the listing agent, telling the listing agent, hey, we're going to hit our timelines. Like, I want to meet with you. I want to work with you, or I want to get a referral to a buyer agent because maybe you don't focus on buyers. But the big producers, 100 million a year, know how to build relationships on their relationships that they're currently in contract with.
Yeah, that's exactly like it's really hard to go from 0 to 1 with anybody. Like from cold to known is really difficult, but from like slightly known to like great partnership is very easy. I wouldn't say it's very easy. It's considerably easier than like cold 0 to 1. So like the best people I know, like 100 million, 200 shot, they leverage every connection they have to another connection. They never go to a cold realtor saying, "Hey, I've heard great things about you." They find out who their mutual point of connection is. Like they ask for an introduction, and they become very targeted in who they want to know. But like they always go through a warm introduction.
Yeah, and that definitely seems to be their superpower. Like they know how to get the snowball rolling and just let it grow itself.
Yeah, just don't stop. Once you have momentum, don't stop.
Yeah, never take it for granted.
Exactly. What advice do you have for loan officers? Just specify what kind of loan officer and what your advice is.
I would say like loan officers doing 1 to 2 loans a month. I mean, their biggest thing has to be they need to be out there meeting more people. I feel like even when I was struggling or when I was newer, I was just not meeting enough agents. Like I couldn't even name off 40 agents when I was trying to figure out how to make it work. So you need to go to the events, you need to bump shoulders with people that are doing transactions, you need to go out of your way to go hit open houses. The For agents, the biggest thing I've seen for them is if they just slam open houses for 3 months, they're going to get transactions. We have an agent that works with one of my loan officers. He just did an open house every single day for the last 2 months. He has like 4 pre-approved buyers. He has one he's writing a contract on that's going to list a property. So it all is sales a contact sport. Make more contacts, get out there, meet more people. If they see that you're working hard, they'll want to work with you. and then just don't drop the ball once they actually start to trust you.
That's it. So just massive activity in terms of how many people you talk to and be reliable.
Yeah, be reliable for sure.
That's very good. Can other loan officers reach out to you?
Yeah, anybody can reach out to me. I'm Thomas_Gene_Harris on Instagram. You can DM me if you have any questions, but I'm an open book, obviously. So if anybody had questions, I'm happy to help.
Thomas, thank you so much for being here. You've been amazing.
Thank you, Sam.